Good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. And welcome to our discussion group here on Thursdays. What are we going to do today? Yeah, let's see. Maybe something with energies. Actually, we have a man here today who is, I think, one of the kindest people I know. He has a very big heart. Don't wrinkle at me. He has a very big heart, and he wants to do everything he can to make it good for everyone. And he has his whole life, or a big part of his life, worked with energies. He has worked with frequency, or he's worked with so many different things. But today we are going to hear from Allan Lassen. Allan is from Denmark and one of my good friends. And he is going to take us through a session today talking about energies. And I really, really hope that you have a lot of questions. You can ask in the chat, or you can wait until Allan is finished. I think about maybe 20, 25 minutes. And then it's going to be open for questions. And please ask away, because this is your chance to get answers. So welcome, Allan, and can't wait to hear what you've got for us today.
Thank you so much. I have chosen not to make a PowerPoint because sometimes we have to show people that you can do this, have a speech here without a PowerPoint. And so therefore I will still show you some things, but it's only pictures. Anyway, my life with energies started out with an enormous amount of energy in my body. And when I say enormous, people are saying that, not me. But can you imagine that you are coming home, sitting in your living room, taking all your clothes off, and then put your hand on the heater? And it will, even if it's cold in summertime, it will be absolutely warm. That's my energy. So, and that's about it. Well, so when we talk about energies, we talk about the usual ones. We talk about coal, we talk about oil or nuclear energy or electricity. Lesser known are, for example, the energy that comes from humans, and it's produced, as you know, as ATP in our cells. But there's also another thing in the body, and I found out that very well, not very early, but a few years ago, and that was that our soul and inner orchestra also are producing energy. And how is that? Well, people that I have as clients, I'm making healing, they tell me that it's like an orchestra. A lot of music comes out from my body, and I don't know where it's come from, but it comes from me. And when they're saying that, it's not logic for me that there should be music in my body, but there is. And it's not only one person, it's a lot of persons who have told me that. So one thing is my voice, but another thing is, well, I don't know. And I hate that I don't have an explanation for this, but that's how it is. So what we know is that sounds, we also call them vibrations, they produce, or they are, some kind of energy. There are in the universe, you see the galaxies, they are spirals. And here on Earth, we also have spirals. We also have them in our body. They are in water, they are in the air. And spirals contains a lot of energy. And energy, when we're talking about that, we also have to say, well, if it's energy, it will also be some kind of electricity. And if there's electricity, there must be some magnetic field also. So remember, these things goes together. Very important. We can sense vibrations or sounds from earthquakes, volcanoes, and we can also sense something from the universe. Very difficult to explain what it is that come from in the universe, but there are some vibrations or sounds or whatever that we cope with in our body. And sometimes, you know, there are more coincidences happening here on Earth at the same time that, for instance, could be traffic events, or it could be very happy people, or very angry people. And it's a kind of vibration that comes from the outside. And it affects us very much. So, yeah. Then we have energy from other souls, what you call ghosts, for instance, or angels. And we have from the higher being that most of you call God. And these energies that come from there, some of them I can sense, but clairvoyant people, they are so much better than I am to sense these things. For instance, when you're clairvoyant, you often see auras, or you see other souls or whatever. But I've only tried this once. So yeah, I'm not good at that, but I'm good at being me. When I was young, I was full of energy. I'm sorry, but I'm reading a little bit because I have to write it down, just to remember. So when I was young, I was full of energy. I was warm. My hands were burning. And it always comes from inside. And well, I had to use my muscles all the time, just to cope with all that energy. I slept very little, only 4 to 5 hours a day. And I went, for instance, to bed, and after I've slept in 1 hour, maybe 2, I had to go up again and out in nature. So I had to sneak out of the window, and then I walked in the forest for, well, the whole night. And sometimes my dog will follow me, other times not. So yeah, there's a lot of energy. And when I went to school, then I had to always speak with the teacher or the other students. Instead of being silent, I had this enormous energy. Well, in 1987, my wife Susanne started on a course of spiritual science, and came back to our house and told about what they were saying in there, and nothing of what she was saying was nothing logic of what she was saying, and she was saying one thing here and another thing there, and well, it was not for me, not at all. But then she told that on this course they have spoken about an explanation they have for lifting up things with your mind. And that turned me on, because I've tried that in a little party we had in our family, and we were lifting people with, well, holding your fingers like that and then lifting heavy people up in the air. And I need that explanation simply because I have some very heavy stuff in my garden and I want to move it around. So I thought, well, if I could just pinpoint and then they will be moved, then that was a good thing. So I was thinking very logic in terms of mathematics, but not about feelings, because I was not trained with feelings. Later on, when I married my wife, I got a hug from my father-in-law, and you know, I've never hugged people before, so therefore it hurts me in my heart so strongly. So yeah, it was pain, and then I started to explore what that was. I started this course. It is 9 weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and after 2.5 years, we finished this because they were educating people, and then you should go home and try it. And it was built up for me like logic. So that's perfect. Anyway, they were talking about a lot of subjects. They were talking about pyramid energy. They were talking about healing, massage, alternative medicine, Kirlian photos, and of course, Martinus cosmology. Yeah, that is the science of spirituality. So when I finished these courses, then they invite us all, and we were 60 people. They were inviting us to London to have a weekend or a whole week with, well, first of all, mediumship. So we will look at mediums because they talked about it, but they want to show what they can do in London. So we went to London and we saw mediums and spiritual centers for early in the morning and to late in the evening. And it was very interesting because they could do more than we could do here in Denmark. Anyway, I think it was Tuesday. We were in a little center, and there was some old ladies, you know, these round old English ladies, very pale. They were mediums, and one of them, I sat with her, and she said to me, "Well, you are, well," she said, "You are halfway to Jesus," and I said, "Okay, come on." But anyway, she said, "You should be healing." And I have an uncle in London, and he was a healer, very good one. And I thought that, well, he was not earning money, and I was still up to money. So therefore, I said no. Then later on this week, we came to a little, you know, all mediumships, they have to be in a church. And a church is defined by a room where you have a cross and a Bible. That's it. Then it's legal to to make clairvoyance and all that kind. Well, we came in such a room and met a guy that was drawing people who were dead. And that was very mysterious. When he selected people from the group of 60, he would ask some questions, and you should say yes to these questions. And if you're doing that, then finally he stopped with one question just for you to find out if it was you who he was drawing for. And I want to show you two drawings that make my day. How do I, oh, share. Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me?
Ja, vi hører dig, Allan.
Okay, good.
So good.
I think it's over here. Yeah. Come on. Well, here we are. Yeah. I have to roll off here. Just a second. Here we are. Can you see this? Hello, are you there?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can see you.
Okay.
Yeah, we are muted, Allan, so we don't make
that's
noise.
why. Sorry. This one over here, that's a drawing that I got in, I got in 89. It was drawn here in Denmark by Ivor James. That's a medium that I was talking about. I recognize the upper thing of the face, the nose, the eyes, and a little bit of the hair, but I don't know who she was. On the other one, there was the drawing in London. And this is, as you see on the picture, it's similar to this guy here. And to be sure of that, then I have to copy it and send the copies out to his children. This is my grandpa, and my mother and her 3 brothers. They received this, and they were completely silent. They didn't call me. They didn't do anything. And after 14 days, they started calling me. And you know, this was fantastic because we opened a discussion. What is how could this be possible? It could only be possible because if there are spirits when we die, if we become a spirit, then people like Ivor James, he could not contact us or contact this person, but he could feel it. And the person would then tell him how to draw. And he has drawn thousands and thousands of people from the spirit world. And this shocked me really, because he said, for the first time when we stood in this defined church, if you will, then he said, well, if this is possible, and if you recognize this person, then imagine how difficult it is to find you. So he started to ask 5 questions, and then this final one. And when he was finished, he said, it's like opening a phone book in London, and it's a big one. And then pinpoint a page, whatever, call the number, and then somebody has to be home and have to have papers and a pencil. And then you're just telling this person on the other end how you look. Can you imagine how difficult it is? And this is quite good. my grandpa on the picture is 80 years old, and he looked younger here, because when you go into spirit world, you will look younger. That's it. I will go back again. How do I do that? Here, soon. So,
Just stop sharing.
stop
No.
sharing, yeah, but I can't get the picture. I have to see that. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do that? Thank you. Anyway, when you imagine that how difficult it is to make these drawings, then he's quite fantastic, and he has done that since he was 10. He has passed away now, so he is up in the spirit world. Anyway, this is not something I'm telling you because you have to change your belief. I didn't do that. So I just found some logic in all this with all his explanation. What he told me, he said, I have to tell you something, and it's the first time ever. But so therefore you have to be well, cautious, because I don't know what I'm saying. And then he told about my life in 3 different categories. One is what has happened. One is what happened right now when we were in London. And the last thing is what comes to me after I got home. And he also, of course, as the lady that told me that I should make some healing, he said that, but he said she forgot to tell you about the logic behind. And then he told me about sitting naked in our living room, holding on this heater, and yeah, all that. Anyway, he said, go out somewhere in Copenhagen, find a place where you can be educated, so you know about healing, but also know about how to sit with a patient. And I did that. It took half a year, and then I started making healing. But how do you get clients? Well, they came without me knowing where they come from. And the first one was actually our neighbor, who came in, and like in like in the fairy tales, she was standing out in the rain, and she was completely wet. And I asked her, well, what can I help you with? And she said, my daughter is very, very sick. She has cancer. Can you help her? I said, well, I've just finished my education on healing, and I don't know what I'm capable of. And she said, it doesn't matter. You have to try. And I met the daughter 2 days after, and she came into our house, and she was so beautiful. Anyway, she was sick. It was very obvious that she had cancer, and I started making healing, and after just 5 treatments, then she was absolutely cured. But what I don't know, or didn't know at that time, was that cancer has a special hvad hedder årsag? Vicky, hvad hedder årsag?
Cause. A
Frequency.
special
Oh, yeah.
cause.
Yeah. Cancer has a special cause because it's a sickness both up here, but also in your body. And I read that from a German doctor called Hammer. And the series of, but what he wrote about, I connected with that, and I started treating people. But this beautiful daughter, she was not recovered because she went away with her father and to America, and then when she came back, everything started up in her body again. And I didn't know that I should have found the reason why she had cancer. I know that now, so therefore it takes time to find it, but I had a little help from Mr. Hammer. So it goes easier, but anyway, I've treated a lot of people, and at that time, it's years ago, it's 30 years. No, it's not. It's 20 years ago. Well, I treated about, well, a little over 100 people, and 51% of them were recovered completely and are still living. So Hammer's theories are absolutely fantastic, and it helped me. So it was finding the reason for the cancer, and then just my warm hands. That's it. So yeah, I will not take the credit for this. This is Hammer's. We have to give him credit for it. Yeah. Anyway, I have studied a lot of what energy is, because you can't see it. Well, you can see the aura. If you're good, you can see it in colors, or anywhere you can see it as a little light over your hands. Anyway, yeah, I'm just reading a little bit. Yeah, I started just after I have went to these courses with the spiritual science. Then I started Kirlian photos just to see what is energy, because you can see the expression of energy with these photos. Have you ever seen a Kirlian photo? You have, Judy. Anybody else? And Melanie, yeah. Well, anyway, they're very beautiful, and they are so difficult to produce, because everything that you see is an expression of what is going on in the room, not just on the plate where you are placing, for instance, an orange or a tomato or an apple or whatever, or your fingers. But anyway, it gives you an idea of what is going on from the energy from living creatures. I've done a lot of photos, and I don't have a single photo yet, because I had a little accident in our house, a lot of water, so they were destroyed. Yeah, because I made a lot of healing, I also met people with, well, not sick from cancer, but from other things. And I went into a library that contains old medicine prescriptions, and I saw them, and some of them I took, and the others, they were just scrap. So that's why I have a cure for instance, allergies, for kidneys and liver, and yeah, the gallbladder. And I have a few others. And wherever I meet people, I try to help them. It's not about money, not at all. It's about helping people. And that's why I joined the CHC, because I thought that everybody would know that's a kind of knowledge. But I found that, well, not many people are thinking about their health. They are just saying, well, if I'm getting sick, I'll just call the doctors, and that's it. So recently, I got a blood clot. A stroke is also called. And I went to the hospital, and they gave me a lot of pills, and I was getting sick of all these pills. So I started just to take one, and that was the one who was thinning the blood a little bit. And I'm still taking that. But all the other things, I did that with the redox signaling molecules. And it went really good and fast. So after day number 2 on the hospital, I was up and going around. I was dizzy, yes, but I was going around. So I had a little exercise. Not much, but better than just laying in the bed. After 4 days, I went home from the hospital. But before I went home, 2 nurses came to me and said, "What have you done?" And I told them about the products, the ASEA product and the Renew 28. And they were starting to say, "Well, can you give me something where I can read about it?" And my wife, she has produced a little paper with that. So yeah, they were glad for that, but I don't know if they're using it or buying it. I don't care. Well, then I have also studied pyramids. I started in 1972 with meeting up at the Great Pyramid in Egypt. And I was doing that because I thought that, well, maybe they were producing energy, because there was a Danish author who had wrote about this. And I found that, well, it is so enormous. So how could it produce energy? Very much later, and it's just 2 years, maybe 3 years ago, then I stumbled over the pyramid here in Europe, in Bosnia. Have you heard about them? Else, go into Google, write Bosnia, and then a space, and then pyramids.
I
And
have
you
to
will
tell
be,
you, when you opened up your thing, your computer, you know,
yeah.
there was a picture all across it of this pyramid that I was researching that yesterday. And
Okay,
it's still
I
on
will
my
show.
computer. It's still in my dock. I
Okay,
was like, whoa, okay.
I will show you. Well, just have to click a little bit here. And then, yeah, here you are. This is the pyramid. And when it was found by an engineer, he was flying in a helicopter over this. And there are actually 5 pyramids in this area. This is the biggest one, and it's the largest pyramid on this planet. It goes from the ground and up 220 meters, and from the ground and above 50 meters. So in total, it's 270 meters high. It's built not the same way as the Egyptian pyramids. First of all, there's a meter layer of soil, and you can see the forest here. It's growing on the pyramids. And the area all over the pyramid are owned by private people. Anyway, it is interesting because they found this here, a big stone, in the tunnels. There are tunnels under the pyramid. And in this stone here, when you touch it, it has not been cleaned. It's just been laying there in the tunnels all the time. When you're touching this, your fingers are snoring, and the energy from that stone is fantastic to this little room here. If you have lung diseases, go into that room and stay there for just 2 hours. And when you come out, you are completely healed, completely healed. So what's going on? It's energies. Now, let me tell you a little about the tunnels. The tunnels they have found now and dig up because some soil or stones or so has crushed down and blocking the entrance for all the tunnels. But they found 16 kilometers of tunnels, and they are still finding tunnels. They only have one opening, and all the clean air had to go in through the tunnels all the way and out again because only one opening. And the air in the tunnels are so clean and so good to breathe. So can you imagine? You are really getting energy in there. Now, this engineer who flew over and started digging out the pyramids, he had some friends and they had some instruments. They went to the top of the pyramid because the stone here was containing a lot of energy. So they said, what about the top? And they went up to the top, and the instruments could measure a frequency 28,000 hertz. So it's high energy. And they have just made a little drawing of this. This is not a photo, it's a drawing. And they are drawing the energy because it's it's two kinds of energies. It's one straight up in the middle, and then you have something that goes around like, well, a little bit like a DNA molecule. The interesting thing is that the woman energy in the human body is like a spiral going up the spine in the middle. And the spine in the middle indicates men. Men has only one straight energy in the body. And, you know, that's why we are not good at dancing. And women are so fantastic to look at when they're dancing. I want to go back again. No, I have one picture more I want to show you. In the area where the pyramids are, you found these boulders, big round blocks. And there's a lot of them, and they, as you can see, they are big. And there are some bigger. But what are they? What are they doing there? We don't know. We don't know. Anyway, I have to go back again. Share? Maybe? No. How do I go back again? Stop sharing.
What do you want? What do you want to go back to?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Anyway, thank you.
Welcome.
Well, I went to to the Excel Exhibition Center in London for, well, 10 or 11 years ago. And I met Anthony Robbins. And he showed us when women are dancing, they are doing this when they are dancing. And when men are doing this, they are so stiff, you know. And it takes a long time to just cope a little bit with this for a man. But we were sitting down there, all the men, and well, we were about 12,000 people. And it was so beautiful. You almost got in love with all these women because it was really beautiful. And I looked at myself and said, well, I'm not beautiful, not at all. But anyway, it showed me that the energy of this pyramid are both, and it's sending out directly into the universe. And I think it's stopping on the magnetic field that we have around our globe. And that's maybe why that ancient time they have built these pyramids, because they are helping our energy field around the globe. And well, It may be an explanation, I don't know. But the pyramid in Bosnia is more than 30,000 years old. And how did they find that? They removed the soil from the top. Then they removed the stones. They're not that big. So they removed the stones and they found another layer of soil, but it was not that thick. And in that soil, they found a leaf from a tree. They cut it in half and sent it out to 2 different laboratories in Europe and asked them, how old is this leaf? And they said 30,000 to 32,000 years old. So in my thinking, it is the oldest pyramid on this planet. But anyway, it's interesting because the stones are not stones. It's a lot of small stones, and it's combined with some clay and some burning. They are becoming bricks, I will say. So the whole pyramid are built up with bricks, small and big ones, but anyway, not big as the pyramid in Egypt. So it's a different kind of technique that have been used there. Well, I have studied religion. So I started different kinds of religions, and one of the amazing things is the Tibetan monks. They have a huge library up in the mountains telling about man's history, and they can also do a thing that is lifting very heavy, tons heavy blocks by sound. And when I heard that, I thought about this story in the Bible about the Jericho walls. It was sound being used to kick them down. So yeah, to me, it was interesting, very interesting. I've been sitting in the pyramids the Great Pyramid in Egypt, and I asked the tour guide, can you go out with the whole group, turning off the light, and after 20 minutes, I want you to turn it on again. And that was the first time I had an out-of-body experience. So there is something in that pyramid. It's not dead. But how? I don't know. Pyramids and the shape of pyramids are very interesting also when it comes to agriculture, because they are speeding up the process in plants, so they're growing faster and bigger. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, I have been a builder because I had to use my energy. So I've built a lot of small houses, canoe clubs, and then finally I built my own house, a big log house. I have been a beekeeper, and the funny thing with beekeeping is that there you are operating with energy. First of all, the bees, of course, and if you want to have your bees producing more honey than others, then you have to place them in certain areas where the energy is higher, and you can find them by finding, for instance, ants. They will build their home on a Hartmann's cross, and when you move the bees to the Hartmann cross, then they will produce a lot more. But if people have their bed over a Hartmann cross, then they will not sleep, not so much, and it's not healthy. I have been studying transcendental meditation, also called TM, and I did that because I want to remember more of the knowledge in school. I have studied Qigong. It's the Qi energy that you're building up, and I have done that before a bush in the garden, and it was starting really growing. make more leaves on the side where I was standing every day. So it affects them. Then to follow my uncle in England's advice, then I studied The Grape Cure. And The Grape Cure is a book. You can see it here, maybe. Oh. Yeah. Anyway, The Grape Cure describes a cure where you are cleansing your body and you will get a lot more to sense, because all your, well, senses are turned on enormously. So, for instance, when you are standing in a big crowd of people and you want to hear what two people are talking about, then you could just use your imagination that you are standing beside them and you can hear the whole conversation. It's really amazing. You can sense if people are sick. You can, well, you can use all of it. Your eyesight will be better. Your hearing is better. You are, well, a better person. It took me, because I had to set a goal. So I said, I will go to this cure for a month. And I was only eating black grapes, very sweet, and water, nothing else. But you have to chew the seeds inside the grapes. If you're eating grapes without seeds, you will be sick. And if you don't chew them, you just have to crack them. But if you don't chew them, then you'll be very sick. You will shake all over because you need the minerals in the seed. Interesting, very interesting. So yeah, when it comes to energy, I have been studying a lot, but it's not more. There's a lot more that I've tried. I have read about Victor Schauberger and the energy in water. I read about an Austrian guy who's called Johann Granter. And Johann Granter, he has made the water as it was originally here on this planet. So if you have polluted water, use Johann Granter water, and it's, well, it comes in a container, and you don't have to open the container, you just have to put the container into the water that you want to heal. Interesting, because it's energies. Anyway, I can see that there is a lot of comments right now. There are 14 of them. Wow. So, Vicky?
Yeah, I think we are going to have to ask people to just raise the hand, because
Yeah.
we only have 9 minutes left. So
Yeah, that's right. Any questions or comments? Something you have tried?
Judy?
Yeah.
Just my 2 cents, but I think that we are just coming into our knowledge, so to speak, about frequencies and
Yes.
how amazing they are. I think we've been, I don't like this term, but I think it pretty much covers it. We've been dumbed down for so many centuries, even, about frequencies and the healing power of frequencies, and how we can even do so much more ourselves, because therefore, you know, would take the money away from them that want the money. So I found this very interesting, Allan. You've done a lot of really good homework here, and I so appreciate this message. Thank you.
Judy,
Yeah,
you've got that right, Judy. You know, they've dumbed us down, and there's so much being revealed right now, all this knowledge and light, and he just scratched the surface. Those things he talked about, we could go so much in depth on, so many of those different things on the energy and stuff. but it's, you talked initially about the spiritual gifts. Yeah, and everybody has been at least one of those. Most of them are common, like music or athletics, or there's just a whole lot of common ones they call, you know, talents or something. But then when you get somebody that can see auras or can see other spirits and stuff, they're so different that people don't dismiss those. But that's actually their gifts. And I know about some that I have, and you can get more if you focus on them and work after them, and you can develop them, just like, you know, the courses he's went to and stuff. And he talked about the energy and the mitochondria, where our energy is produced, but a lot of that comes from the light and the peace that we are at. When we're at peace, we get more light, which has energy that fills the universe, and also produces more oxygen in our bodies, which creates more energy and kills cancer, bacteria, and virus. And one thing also that you mentioned, you had a stroke or a blood clot. You know, the redox, you know, creates more elasticity in the endothelium, so that they don't get cracks and fissures, and the plaque don't stick. But the L-arginine and L-citrulline will remove plaque off of those arteries, so it doesn't coagulate. And so you don't have to take the rat poison for the blood thinners. Drink a gallon of Gary water a day, and make sure you get plenty of omega-3 oils, which keep the platelets split apart so they don't clump up together. So you're pumping fluid, not sludge, through your arteries. Anyway, that's my thoughts.
Thank you.
So Allan, where were those pyramids at that you spoke about?
The land called Bosnia.
In Bosnia?
Bosnia, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's close to Sarajevo. You know, where the two world wars started.
And the other thing, I think, when you were talking about eating the grapes and chewing the seeds,
Yeah.
that's that grapefruit seed oil that is in those seeds. And when I was going to Guatemala, we would use that oil and as a we would soak all of our vegetables and everything with that grapefruit seed oil, and also we would put 7 drops in a glass of water and drink that every day too, just to get rid of the parasites or whatever that was going on. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Melanie, go ahead.
Yeah.
This is just great. I have so many experiences. And
Sorry, Melanie.
So
Can you put your picture on?
Yeah, please.
We can't see you.
okay, but I'm in my jammies. Okay.
Who
We
cares?
can't see that.
Who cares?
Okay. Oh my gosh. Just my whole life. I mean, I studied with Kahuna in Hawaii. I've had experiences that are just unbelievable. And and for the last I don't know, maybe 15 years, I've been working with a double board certified physician who's a master of this ancient Chinese energy. And anyway, I do stuff every morning. I just would. I've studied the pyramids. I like. I've had experiences being taken to the other side when my stepfather died. I'd love to share about that sometime. This is kind of stuff you kind of don't share about normally. So I'm really glad that you opened up the space, Allan. And I just love what you shared today. I'm kind of blown away about the pictures. of your
Grandparents.
and
Yeah.
you know, I've had experiences where I just realized, oh my gosh, I've got a guardian angel. I've had things happen that just saved my life. It was unbelievable. I'm getting chills right now. And like, you know, this kahuna would tell me, you know, you go here, you do this, and this is going to be like this. And I look back, I go, oh my gosh, that's exactly what happened. That, you know, and, you know, I was thinking of this one day he was doing this, this exercise with me with Kundalini or something, and taking my, and I took my energy. He had me like flying over my boyfriend's house. We had broken up and we hadn't spoken for months. And, you know, so I'm taking light and putting it all through, you know, healing him and putting it all through his apartment and everything. And I'm staying on this other side of the island in Hawaii. This guy's back in the state, you know, on the mainland. I had moved here living with my mother. Like nobody knows I'm here or where to find me. And I'm in the middle of this thing with this energy going through me, you know, like that he's having me create. And I literally felt myself lift off the chair. I never let myself think about that part. But and his wife gets a phone call because this guy, I was so upset. He said, Melanie, you're going to come here and you're going to stay here with me and my wife for a week. And I'm going to give you my whole, you know, kahuna course right here. And so anyway, the phone rings, his wife answers it, and it's Joaquin from the mainland, somehow calling my mother on the other side of the island, finding out I'm over here and calling to like find out how I am and everything. I mean, it just was amazing. I mean, I feel like you have to do another one of these just to answer all our questions.
I think
this
you're
opens
right.
up space to share more stuff.
Yeah.
I think you are right, because I had to sort all the things that I have been experienced. I have to sort them out, some of them, because there's a lot more. And I think that everybody here has a chance to open the subject again.
Yeah, and
This
I
could be part one.
and I've healed people. I've healed people with my hands, you know, and you know, and the kahuna said, it was telling me how much energy I have, what color, how far it goes. Anyway, so much more, so much more. Thank you so
very much, Melanie. Peg, do you still have a question? Good.
Let's hear it.
No,
No.
it wasn't a question. And I came into this late, a few minutes late, but I just wanted to comment on about the Hotmart thing. And I received an email yesterday about it being automatically renewed. So if people don't want that to happen, they need to go over there and cancel that subscription. So you just, but they'll send you an email, and then from the email.
I'm talking with them to get them to just cancel the whole thing for everyone, and it's difficult to get through to these guys, but we'll get it done.
You know, but in the event that doesn't happen, you know that they don't follow through with what, you know, Gary's trying to do, just go in there and cancel it. That's what I ended up doing. So they sent me the email. I responded to the email. And then when I said, no, I don't want to do it, then it took me back to the login page. Well, why would you do that? So I had to, you know, look up the login and all that and go in there. And then I saw the status that said cancel. So just to make sure. All right, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you, Peg. Just finishing off, I am sorry we are going over time. But if anyone else has some questions, you can leave if you are running late for something and go in and look at the recording afterwards.
This could be part 1 from Allan, and he could do a part 2 maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can.
And then maybe a little more time for questions, because there were not time
Yeah.
enough today
Yeah.
for questions. And we apologize for that.
Vicky, can I just tell Allan something really quick?
Yeah,
about
but we are running over time, so it has to be quick.
Okay, this thing on television, this scientist went and tested things in the Great Pyramid in Egypt. And he showed this whole thing where he tested that they were pulling water in, doing something which made microwaves. And he thinks the big obelisks around the planet were that sending energy around for people to use. And there's actually batteries, pictures of batteries on the walls that they used. Okay, the end.
That was sweet and short, Melanie. Thank you for that. Anybody else last minute, or we are gonna hand the call over to
The boss.
Gary, the boss? But before I do that, I would like to invite you all again to come back on Thursday. Brent has a very special guest. It's Elena from Serbia, and she is gonna have a topic that's called Superconscious Mindset number 2. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be here next week. My son is getting operated on Thursday, so I'm gonna be out for 6-8 hours or something like that.
Run
So-
him over to Bosnia, Vicky. Take him in the pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Anyway,
wish.
yeah.
I'm sure it's right around the corner.
No, it's
Actually not. Actually not. So will you please finish the call, Gary?
Yes, thank you. There are so many things that we do not understand about the incredible forces that are inside living beings and inside of us. And I think that we are going to be able to develop at some point, whether it be now or after this life, the ability to use these for the good of others. And I think that Allan hit it right on the head. Says these gifts are made for blessing the lives of others. And whatever we know our gifts are, and we do have them. If we learn how to use these gifts and focus them for the benefit of our fellow human beings, then we're I believe following the energy that our Father in heaven has given us, that this world is that we're here to do, because we're all here to do certain things. And I'm very grateful for Allan for stepping forward and kind of opening up. Like he said, this is something that many people just don't talk about. Yet we feel it. And I felt the healing energy inside of me too, from time to time. And we have the ability to touch each other's lives. So let's reach out. Let's keep on touching each other, understanding, what our gifts are to help us. And this is a wonderful thing. I think. I appreciate all of you guys, and appreciate you for putting up with me and the boss. We'll get the thing straightened out. I'm sure, and at some point we'll figure out how to do this. But thank you very much, and love you all. Take care. We'll see you next week then. Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful
Bye-bye.
weekend.
Bye. Thank you, Allan.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Good week.
Thanks.